Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
August 16th. This week, Alaska became a stage not for peace, but for theater. A dictator under indictment for war crimes was escorted like royalty onto American soil. Red carpets rolled, bombers flew overhead, cameras clicked, and while the American military kneeled in front of Putin's plane, rolled out the carpet, his drones and missiles continued their salutes of fire over Ukrainian skies. Trump promised results, he promised pressure, he promised a ceasefire, he walked away with none of it. Putin, meanwhile, he gained everything that matters to him: legitimacy, attention, and time. He gave nothing, he promised nothing, and yet he leaves ground as a partner America welcomed. This is weakness. What is weakness if not this? A summit that produced no deal but projected deference, a handshake that looked less like strength and more like surrender, a message to the world that the leader of the free world can be played like a prop. Putin doesn't bargain, he occupies. He doesn't negotiate, he erases. And this week, America helps him with symbols of power, usually reserved for allies, not aggressors. Ukraine, excluded from the table, fought on as always, striking depots, wrecking supply lines, dismantling Russia's ability to wage war, while Washington staged theater, Kyiv delivered consequences. So the question is, when the image of red carpets fade and the bombs keep falling, who is truly shaping the future? The dictators staging pageants, or the nation still fighting to live in freedom? I'm Slavie, your co-host. This is Ukraine Updates with the Shills. Let's say hello to the host of the Shills. Hi, Mr. Dawson. How are you doing today?
That was a good one. Good job indeed. I'm good. I'm very conflicted. Do we even have the real Vladimir Putin? We're getting to a lot of stuff today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we're going to play a great new game. We're going to call it Debunk the Funk. You watch, it's coming up soon. It's going to be this. I think people are going to get a good kick out of this, and it'll be something we'll have to do a bit more often as well.
Yeah, I'm excited for it as well. We also have Commander Macmillan on our panel today. How's it going?
Going great. Glad to be here.
Well, thank you for being here. And today we have a special guest, Johnny, my friend Johnny, here in LA. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, guys. Very excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Slavie. Thank you, Dick Dawson, for accepting me. I run a YouTube blog called Young Ukrainians. Usually it's a street type of interview, but today I'm glad to be contributing in whichever way I can.
And don't forget to subscribe. You guys are getting links, so subscribe, please.
Yes, you guys know the drill. Hop on over there and click some lovely buttons. Oh, yes. The link will be dropped, I think, any minute there. I do believe I even might have it here. Let me just look. I don't know if I got it ready. I know it's in the description. Shayna's got it. There we go. All good. We're up to speed. Awesome. So, nice. Slavie, where do you want to start us off?
I mean, where do we begin? Well, let's begin with the two planes landing in Alaska. One of them is, Vladimir Putin. I'm lost for words at this point right now, but
two planes land in Alaska, one with a war criminal and the other with a sex criminal.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's so bad. And I put the video up right away here as we're talking about this, because this warm old college buddy little greeting and bust up they had when they first meet on the carpet is pathetic at best.
Yeah. The meeting ran at a military base, joint base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage, Alaska. The press conference that really wasn't. They read brief remarks, took 0 questions, Trump and Putin, and left without announcing any agreements. Basically, Trump summed it up as no deal until there's a deal. We'll be talking about what Putin said quite a bit. We'll definitely dismantle it because his speech was prepared ahead.
He knew exactly what to say, and Trump just lumbered through it like a complete numbskull.
Yep. And Putin knew his audience and his way to manipulate. Oh, I was fuming when I was listening, because I knew people that don't have brain cells will be enamored by it.
Yeah.
So,
and look at it in this part of the video here. Trump can't walk a straight line.
Walk a straight line to save his life.
I know. It's like there's invisible barriers and he's bouncing off them like a freaking ping pong ball or a pinball,
Behind somebody's car on the highway with that, and they're texting while driving. Wow.
Yeah, or drunk.
I think it's also very important to pay attention to body language here. I think he's not really looking forward to this until he starts clapping. But it's interesting to see once he sees Putin, his eyes, they're glowing, and then a smile, he comes alive.
Yeah,
my sugar daddy.
Yeah. Here, let me zoom this in for y'all, just so you can see. Look at this little buddy moment. It's like Vlad saying, "Oh, don't worry, son. I've got the perfect cure for those swollen, fat fucking ankles of yours,"
But just pay attention here until the very end. After they made their speeches, it's going to be very different. So that's quite interesting. That's how we know that something went down behind closed doors for those 3 hours. Trump was he was defeated, completely defeated.
And now he can walk a straight line when he's got somebody to walk beside. That's just not a good look, that he needs help.
Yeah. There was a lot of promises that Trump made going into the summit, that even that there is going to be some sort of resolve here, maybe even a ceasefire, and none of it happened. Absolutely none of it. And he was very like, this will happen. He was very sure of himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. That's just about to be over. So all right.
Did anyone say anything about Putin have his platforms on? Usually he tries to raise himself up a little bit.
Right.
Because people zoom in on those things, and they can show he's like wearing these platforms. He always has high heels. So
Yeah.
No, he just has an affinity for disco dancing. That's all.
Also, we don't know which number of Putin this is. I mean, we know it's not Putin number 1. I would say it's Putin number 2, the stupid one. The stupid one always makes a lot of faces. The third one is way too much Botox Putin.
I don't know, his face looked pretty smooth. I'm sure they're all on Botox now.
Yeah, well, they've all had surgery to make them look like Putin. But yeah, actually, in Ukrainian media, there's a lot of talks, a lot, that Putin is in the fridge. There is no Putin. It's the idea of Putin that still exists, but
yeah,
yeah.
It just doesn't look like Putin to me because the face is too round. If you look at Putin, the real Putin, when we know and can confirm it's him, he has a fairly narrow face, all things considered.
Yeah. And to gain that much face weight without the rest of the body gaining some, I don't see that. Like that's, that's not how people usually work, right?
Yeah.
Also, this Putin doesn't have a chin. They forgot to inject him in the chin because it's like all one. Usually Putin has a chin, so.
The White House put out a special video of Trump to commemorate the moment. Let me play it for you here.
Haha. Is that a pussy or a taco?
I think it's half of one, 3/4 of the other.
It's a 4-letter word that starts with a C.
Yeah. Ends with can't understand normal thought.
By the way, I think we can swear now. It's okay and not get demonetized on YouTube.
Well, you have to wait the first couple minutes. Yeah, like
not anymore. Not anymore.
Oh, no,
they said you can swear now in the first 7 seconds. It's
well,
fine.
yeah, but their version of swear is still like God damn it in the first 7 seconds. If you want to get to like fuck, fuckity, fuck, you got to wait at least 30 seconds or so. And then you're okay. It's still like, what's the difference? You come out and say, welcome to the show. And holy fuck, is the world screwed today? Or you babble on for 30 seconds and then go, so fuck, let's get into it. What's the difference?
It's kind of fucked up. Like, what
the
if you have
children will have
Tourette's?
left by then.
What are you saying, Slavie?
I said, what if you have Tourette's?
Yeah, right. I think it's stupid, especially when you got companies advertising gear to shave your ball sack and stuff. I mean, do you think they care whether or not you swear in the first 7 seconds of a video? Like, it's so arbitrarily stupid. But let's go back to events and stuff. The optics of the situation are terrible in every way for America. This is just brutal the way it comes across and looks. I mean, that whole thing where the jet landed in the wrong place and, before the God King could descend the stairs there, they had to bend the knee to the Russian plane to move the red carpet and stuff. I mean, that was totally planned in advance. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Absolutely. And this summit, it it was a gift from Trump to Putin because it only served Russia.
Yeah.
None of it was even for America or anything. So I do have points here how the summit served Russia. It gave a global PR win. It legitimized Putin, a war criminal on a world stage. Putin stood on equal footing with an American president. Optics Russia craves.
Oh.
Yep.
But I would contend that it did serve a purpose for Trump. It's another distraction from the Epstein situation.
Yes. It served no purpose
100%.
for its announced reasoning.
hell.
Right. Right.
And we all knew going into it over a week ago that this had nothing to do with really trying to find a solution to the situation in Ukraine.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
think
All
it
the
just made
Russian
things
news-
worse for him because even his people are like, this is terrible. Like, this is your lowest point.
Yeah. Johnny?
What were you going to say, Johnny?
All the Russian news outlets have been parading this occasion, just ecstatic about this event, saying, finally, the world is listening to Putin. Finally, they will understand us. Like, we're moving towards the Russian world. Basically, it's a win. It's a great win for Putin. The way they're perceiving it is effectually he's out of isolation, because it took a great effort after all the war crimes, after all the International Criminal Court decisions, which he's supposed to be arrested if he steps foot out of Russia. So he's effectually out of isolation. So this is United States of America. Imagine how Putin is going to speak to lesser, so to speak, lesser nations. According to Russia, it's every nation.
Yeah.
But, they're going to speak to Romania. It's like, who the heck are you? I've just been to Alaska. I've just shaken President Trump's hand.
Right.
They're going to start pushing this to the max.
Absolutely.
Sound
Also-
reasoning for sure.
It's also a delay tactic. By dangling kind of talks of a productive meeting, Russia bought time to keep bombing Ukraine while kind of the diplomacy stalls. Also, Trump was going to impose sanctions. That's not happening anymore. He said, yeah, we're not going to do that. So,
all that tough talk is out the window, gone.
yeah, and that was the main kind of thing. That was like, we can't. I think there's even talk now of like lifting sanctions on Russia.
The way I perceive Trump's tough talk is basically, I'm giving Russia 2 more weeks to conquer Ukraine. I'm giving Russia 100 days to conquer Ukraine. I'm giving my friend Vladimir Putin this much time to make advances in Ukraine. He's not doing this to stop Putin. He's doing this to give him, you have this much time to do whatever you want now. So, and then if you're giving Putin every week, you give him 2 weeks, for a long time, that's like, okay, you still have time. You still can keep doing this, which Russia is doing. They understand Trump completely. Every time when they speak with Trump and Trump is doing his tough talk, Ukraine pays in blood. It's missiles hitting Ukrainian cities immediately.
Yeah.
I call it kind of the circle of doom. Russia bombs or escalates bombing Ukrainian cities. Then Trump gets a little upset, gives the 2 weeks, and then chickens out, talks to Putin and chickens out. Then the same cycle starts again.
Yeah.
And the only way to break the cycle is to do something different. And I don't mean the whole summit for fucking Russia. No, to stop Putin, to put sanctions on him. Because and Putin knew
something
this.
different that would make a whole lot of sense is for somebody to release the compromise that the Russians have on Trump. That would defang him that fast.
I completely agree. There's something interesting that happened too in their speech about Putin said about the American elections, how there's what was it about mail-in votes that you lost, or no, sorry, no voting. I have it written down, but basically he said it was as long as you have mail-in voting, it's gonna get it's not a real election. Basically, it's rigged election.
Yeah, that's like a cherry on top. Not only we look like a laughing stock of the world, but we get to hear the world criminal to call our elections unreal. You know, that's like, he hits us in the gut and also says, oh, you don't really have a real elections. That's great.
Okay, I have it here. So it's election denialism that 2020 was rigged mail-in voting makes honest elections impossible. That's what he said. And yeah, that echoed domestic US falsehoods, then amplifies them. And disinformation board on a global scale, propaganda meets, I mean, pudentry, I put it here. But only Putin can, at the same time, just completely shit on something and still make like Trump love him.
Yeah.
And meanwhile killing people and being a war criminal.
Yeah.
I think Trump loves this like criminal gangster mafia like aesthetic. Like he's in love like with Putin, you know, like he views Putin as his buddy just on like aesthetic level. You know, he loves Russia. He doesn't want to be friends with Colombian mafia. You know, he wants to be like with a white guy mafia, you know, Russians, the proper guy. You know, but you know, if you love Russian aesthetic, that's to me, that's an indication that something is wrong with you. You should rethink your values.
There was a really good movie that came out, The Apprentice, and it's about Trump's kind of coming up in New York City, and he dealt with he learned all his tricks from mafia, like running around with like completely like dirtbag shitheads basically, and very dangerous people, and like dirty lawyers. So everything that Trump is today, even the orange tan, because he got it from somebody else that he like used to look up to.
That shit's contagious?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's a very interesting movie. It's good. That's why Trump like hates it. He doesn't want people to see it.
It's called learned behavior, Dick.
I really liked what
that the unsecured loan he got from Deutsche Bank came directly from the Russian mafia.
Yep.
I really like that video that Slavie posted on her Instagram, what Arnold Schwarzenegger, my personal role model, said about this whole situation. Like, honestly, if you've never seen anything, if you don't know anything, just listen to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He said it just in the plainest, simplest terms, you know, and he spoke, his speech was aimed at Donald Trump. I don't know if we can
I think
listen
we have
to that.
It. I sent it to Dick.
Really? I have it?
Yeah. I sent it to you, WhatsApp.
Like
It's pretty
today
much
or
all
like
you need to
earlier
know.
or something?
Today, yeah, this morning. Said Terminator has one of the best reactions I've seen.
Oh, yes. Here. Okay. I don't know why it took me so long to clue into that, because I actually already watched it.
He called Trump wet noodle.
Yeah.
Great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We should all use that now.
Here.
Agree.
I can play it for us right now. Here, let me get that unmuted. Here we go.
President Trump, I just saw your press conference with President Putin, and it was embarrassing. I mean, you stood there like a little wet noodle, like a little fanboy. I mean, I was asking myself, when are you going to ask him for an autograph or for a selfie or something like that? I mean, you literally sold out at this press conference our intelligence community, our justice system, and worst of all, our country. You're the president of the United States. You shouldn't do that. I mean, what's the matter with you? I mean, whatever happened to the strong words or to the strength of Ronald Reagan when he stood there at the Berlin Wall and he said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall? What happened to all that?
I like it.
I mean, there's nothing more to add.
Yeah. Yeah.
The wet noodle.
Yeah. I was expecting you to ask for an
four-letter
autograph.
word, taco.
Oh, it's good. Oh man.
There's also some things happened like prior to the summit, like Lavrov wearing a USSR sweatshirt. Yeah, which was, I mean, insane that he was just walking around with.
Because we should be able to take some more slaps from the Russian delegations. You know,
Yeah.
United States is a big country. We can afford some more slaps. Just oh my God, the CCCP shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not like Pamela Anderson wearing a Baywatch shirt or something. Let's, keep in mind there's a bit more meaning,
Also, the media on their plane over got served chicken Kiev on a plane. I took it as my innocent soul. I was like, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. It's, I don't know, some like pro-Ukrainian crew trolled the Russians, but I guess it's the other way around because chicken Kiev was served on a platter. So
Yes.
Ukraine was served on a platter.
That's the unfortunate reality of how they're looking at it, right? Absolutely.
I mean, I don't care how the criminals and people with their up to elbows in blood call it, that's why the Shills are here to call it what it is.
Damn right.
The freaking disgrace.
Yep. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Super sticker in from Yvonne Way. Hey. All right. Thanks, Yvonne. Yeah, we got the little foxy guy getting all karate style, got the headband on and everything. Looks like it's going out to what's that early karate fight video game from like the NES days? I can't remember, but it looks like the little foxy dude's going out to kick some ass. Thanks, Yvonne. That's cool. Yeah.
Hey, Dick, are we fundraising for something today?
Good shout, actually, because we're just wrapping up the summer fundraiser with Car for Ukraine. So all direct donations today go directly to them. We've got their direct link as well that we'll get into the live chat. It's in the description as well. We've been live long enough without saying that, so we better get that in right away. I'm slipping today.
Good instinct, Johnny. It was great.
Very much.
Learning real fast.
Yeah, I might have to put him up in the top row here.
No. I'll stay in the back. I'll watch you guys from the rear raw.
That's funny.
Well, I don't know, Slavie, you grew up in Ukraine, of course.
Yeah, I would.
You know how
I
all
was
the
born
good
there.
students,
Yeah,
the good students were sitting in the front rows, and all the bad boys, the hooligans, were sitting in the back rows.
That's how it is here too.
Out here.
Yeah.
I could never make the front row. If you make it happen now, that's like, finally it happened for me.
Yeah.
I don't think I never really wanted to sit. I was always like off to the side and like second row, something random.
Right.
Sounds kind of sad. I'm like, I never made it to the front. I was always second.
I always get stuck in the back because I'm tall, but I was also one of those kids that was better off sitting in the back anyway, not disrupting everybody else.
Same here. I was always the tallest in class, so I was always like in the back.
Yeah.
My wife, who's a teacher, always had the plan that you put the troublemakers up front where you could keep a close eye on them.
Yeah.
Some teachers had that strategy, that's for sure. Or sometimes teachers would threaten me. You know, if you don't stop that, I'll put you in the front row. And I'm like, no, I'll stop it.
Or in the corner. That was like your punishment.
That's extreme. Yeah, that's extreme.
Oh.
All right. Yeah.
Well, talking about being in a corner, Trump should definitely be in a corner. Why don't we talk about how it was completely pointless for America to do this?
Yeah.
Basically, it got no deliverables. Trump came in promising everything, a ceasefire, and America was left with nothing, not even credibility anymore. Not a single objective was met. It also shifted blame. Instead of holding Russia accountable, Trump put the burden on now Zelensky to make a deal.
Yeah.
And that's why they were screaming, I guess, before the speeches, like on the phone with Trump and Zelensky, because now Trump wants Zelensky to like give up all of Donetsk. He was like, well, it's up to you to make a deal. Like, but we'll see more on Monday how that unfolds. But that's a U.S. abdication, not leadership, basically.
Yeah.
Have you guys listened to, I think, Latvian president, the lady? I think Latvian or Lithuanian, always confuse them.
Yeah.
And basically, she said exactly like what was happening and what's going to happen. Because to reasonable people, there was no surprise with any of this. So she said, Russians, it goes from the Cold War times. There was a guy called Andrei Gromyko. And he was a foreign minister during the Cold War of Soviet Union. And he laid out like this 3-point plan for negotiations of Russia and Soviet Union. And that's when Putin was in school and studying all this stuff. So obviously he knows this as well.
Yeah.
So step one is you make unreasonable demands. You ask for something you shouldn't have, you never had, and there's no point even trying to get it. You make those unreasonable demands. Step two is you threaten. Whatever you have, you just like blatantly threaten and it doesn't matter, no, like if it's nuclear weapons, you threaten with whatever you can, or sometimes even if you don't have it, you still threaten with stuff, because Russia has been known to threaten with missiles that they don't have it. You know, like they talked about hypersonic or something like that, but they didn't even have it. They may still not have it. And then the third point is you don't budge an inch. You just stand on those threats and demands. And as a result of that, somebody's going to offer you something, you know, because the West, according to Russia, is weak, you know, and easily scared and can be bought and threatened. And so eventually somebody's going to offer you something and you end up with something you didn't have before. So even though you ask for a lot, you're not going to get it because it's impossible, right? But you're going to get something, you know, something you have no business in getting in the first place, you know. So she said, like, that's what's going to happen. And I was, so to me, it was no surprise. And, you know, when people say that, you know, it was pointless, that's like the best case scenario, that it was pointless, that it's like nothing happened, you know, because it was very damaging. Like we are in a serious crisis right now. It was a victory for Russia. It was like a big loss for the whole civilized world, for everything we've been fighting for a long time.
You know, and it's not a surprise that we get this out of Trump's administration. You go back to like the Korean War or the Vietnam War, and we still knew how to negotiate against people using those tactics. In Korea, when they'd come up, you know, the Chinese would come up with their ridiculous demands, the head U.S. negotiator, which was Admiral Turner Joy, he'd just kind of go, "Oh, okay." And he'd open his newspaper and just sit there reading his newspaper for hours. And finally, they'd have to break the silence by making some concession. Vietnam, every time the northern side made its demands and we didn't agree with them, the quick way to force them back to the negotiating table and start making concessions was to intensify the bombing and mining Haiphong Harbor and so forth. But today, the action is, well, we just give them whatever they want. We're back to World War II levels or pre-World War II levels of appeasement. Give the bad guy what he wants and hopefully he'll go away, without realizing that doing that only encourages them to demand more.
Russia only understands strength and violence. That's the language that they use themselves, and that's the language that they understand and respect. Unfortunately, right now, the only faction in the whole world that's doing the right thing is Ukrainian military.
Absolutely. Striking military targets, taking out the oil refineries.
Yep.
Actually, during the summit, and this is getting buried, but Ukraine took out a ship that carries the Shahed drones.
Yeah.
That was huge. Yeah, that was huge. And it's the only way. That's the only way.
It's even more. Excuse me. It's even more impressive because the ship that was carrying that equipment was in the Caspian Sea.
Oh.
Yeah, not the Black Sea or not the Mediterranean, in the Caspian.
Wow.
Which is a hell of a long way from the front lines.
I did not know that. That makes it much more impressive. Indeed, I agree.
Yeah.
Ukraine really
know better than to go into the Black Sea these days.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah. But so you look at that and the spider webby stuff and whatnot. Ukraine there must have been some really cool black type ops sneaking stuff in and doing things, because to get to where it was, you would almost think they would need maybe a relay station somewhere to control things, or you know what I mean? They must really have some infiltration going on.
Of course, it's too early to speak about it, but my dream, the world will be over and we're just gonna reminisce in these amazing stories of how awesome Ukrainian operations were, how they were devising these incredibly smart things to overpower this huge, big enemy.
Yeah.
And just do a successful operation after successful operations.
By the way, there's Russians helping Ukraine in Russia, so there's people that there's, I don't know what you call spies on the ground, and they're Russian, and they're doing the right thing, if you would ask me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because a lot of these kind of operations, you need somebody on the ground. I think even for drone strikes, to even say what the plans are of the oil refinery, how it's stuff like that. So you need to have eyes on there, and and I'm pretty sure it just keeps adding these groups of people. I think it's the Russia Legion that kind of onboards these Russians.
Okay.
But of course, we won't know,
because they have relatives and friends of friends in Russia. That's where they grew up. We should give shout out to those good Russians, because in every war, there's going to be somebody.
I don't like calling them good Russians. Those are actually good Russians, because good Russian is not a very good. It's not good.
The Russian soldiers are dead one, but that's another story.
Good Russian is a sarcastic term.
Yeah,
I misspoke there.
Yeah, no, these guys are well, what should we call them?
You guys know that joke? Russians call their dead soldiers 200. 200s. Do you know that?
Yep. Has to do with the body bag.
Commander Macmillan knows that. So they call their dead soldiers 200th, and if it's a wounded soldier, it's a 300. And if it's a deserter, they call it 500.
Huh.
So basically, the Ukrainian joke is not every Russian is a good Russian, only every 200s.
I like that.
Slavie knows that joke.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh.
So, I mean, everybody, because Russians can stop this war right now.
Exactly.
You know? And there's just, there's not enough of them. There's only a slight minority that doesn't like this war. Most of the Russia is just ecstatic. You know, the way they are talking about this is a triumph of Russian military might. The Russia is standing against all of the evil West, which we are. And they, for Russians to stop the war, it's like to die. To die as a country, as a nation, as everything that they like, everything they stand for. Anybody who is like speaking with Russians in good faith about, oh, how about you stop the war? That means you don't understand what Russia is and what they're trying to do. You know, first of all, they will, in their minds, of course, that's never going to happen, and in their minds, they will conquer Ukraine. You know, and once they have Ukraine, that's going to be like a plateau to attack the rest of Europe, to project the force. They can take care of United States without fighting with us, because they're already influencing our elections. They're up into every branch of our government, of our news outlets, of our online presence. They're everywhere there. So to them, that's a better way. That's part of their war that they're waging against the West.
Yeah.
And Russians always said that. I learned it from them. What's happening on the ground, like the actual war, which we assume it's a war, to them, that's only 25% of what's going on. 75% of the war is happening in information space. It's how you affect politicians. It's how you affect, people's opinions. It's how you spread the news of what's happening on the ground.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted there because I was just lining up pictures of the next group of Car for Ukraine trucks that are going out from the fundraiser. I'm so lost, I'll just show them right now because, well, that seems like a good idea. So here's a couple of pictures. You can see what everybody's, donation and help has gone to. You can see there, we got a nicely outfitted Hilux. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Very much. There's a few of them in a row there. You can see, so you see on the side of the doors there's the darker spot where the straight part of the door is, at the back where your head would be. And that's a piece of metal they weld in, and it has proven to be very successful at helping people survive attacks and stuff. Yeah, there's a whole group of Hiluxes that went out. It's really cool. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what the donations go for, everybody. Car for Ukraine. Oh, yeah. I'll try to find it. There's a picture as well. One of the rocket trucks that was fundraised for took itself a good hit. Everybody survived. They're all okay. But another rocket truck is needed as quick as possible. So we're going to, here we go. Hold on. I've got a couple of pictures.
That is some good truck if everyone survives. That's the point of a good military vehicle, to save the lives.
Exactly. Here. What's going on? Why won't it let me? Sorry, everybody. 1 second here. Didn't it just download it to downloads? What's going on? Okay, there we go. It's working now. Sometimes WhatsApp on the desktop is quite the nightmare. Doesn't always work the way it's supposed to for me. Okay, here we go. So let me just size that up a little bit. Here's one picture of it you can see. And then here's the other one that shows. And this truck was built so well from Car for Ukraine. Everybody survived.
That's amazing.
Yeah. You can really see the engineering there that has to go into the back of that pickup to have that rocket launcher on it. It's really cool. You know, it's really cool, like grassroots, but really well done. And oh yeah. So
yeah, and I mean, you never know how well it's done until you get hit by a Russian rocket, you know.
Yeah.
And then that's a big testament. It's just amazing that everyone survived. That's a good job. I mean, somebody's doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we part of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Me personally?
yeah. The Car for Ukraine fundraiser we did last time, or no, 2 times around ago, we funded one of the rocket trucks, and that isn't the one that we funded, but you know, there's one down, so we got to try to get some funds in to get that replaced.
But this is the same team kind of people who are providing the vehicles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. 1 second here, guys. Hold on 1 second.
All right. Should we keep going? Let's do questions really quick. We got a question.
I cannot see the chat, so if you see something interesting from the chat, would you read it to us, Slavie?
Yeah, people. We have like people in the background that are adding questions from the chat. So, so we have a question from Dow. So what happens now after the meeting? I'll open it to the panel. Johnny, or Commander McMillan.
Right now, we're just sitting here in embarrassment, which we've been anticipating for weeks. No surprise. The only way it could have been surprising if Trump took Putin in a headlock and started beating him bloody and handed over to the authorities, basically. That's the only way it could have gone in a surprising manner. But other than that, it's a big loss, a big win for Russia. There's nothing nothing positive out of this that I can think of, you know. And I wish, like, maybe you guys can see anything positive, because otherwise it's too depressing.
Yeah. Commander McMillan, do you have any takes on this, on what might happen next?
What happens next is we wait 48, 72 hours and we completely forget that it ever happened. I mean, that's the way the news cycle works, unless it's something substantive, and we know it wasn't substantive. So yeah, it'll be purged from memory within that amount of time.
Well, we have Zelensky flying in on Monday and having the meeting. As I said earlier, I hope he brings Europeans with him.
That would be super.
Now that I think about it, there might be some silver lining. I mean, there's a sliver of hope that Trump feels embarrassed as well. Is that even possible? And he may be thinking, oh, maybe I should start helping Ukraine. Is that even possible, you guys think?
I was, for the first time, I was watching an analyst this morning, and it was the first one that he kind of put it in a more positive light. And he said, wait 24 hours, because Trump is going to get a lot of criticism and a lot of flack for this. So he might change his tune, or he'll have to. But he reads the news, Fox News also said it, like his favorite news station. They also said that was really weird, that Trump spoke second on our own soil. Like that never happened.
Watch his expressions and listen to what he says, and it's basically almost an acknowledgement that it was a complete waste of time.
Well, that could be a positive thing.
But if you read between the lines, that's kind of what he's saying.
I think that might end up being a positive thing. If he does feel like a fool, if he does feel a little bit embarrassed, and he gets all this criticism, he might think, oh, maybe what happens if I try to help Ukraine? I mean, I have so little hope for that.
Hope never disappoints.
What do you guys think?
Hope never disappoints, but...
By the way, big shout out to that lady who was screaming at Putin, when will you stop bombing civilians? Big shout out to that lady. I don't know who that was. I'm in love with her voice. Maybe I'll marry her someday, you know, or maybe I'll meet her and buy her a beer or champagne. People like that, that's the good people. That's
Definitely.
the right reaction. That's what we want. And I just want to, you know, I just want to use this platform and say this. We have such an amazing chance of feeling good every day. We have this amazing Ukrainian military doing wonders on the battlefield. We have a chance to just root for them, cheer for them, help them, arm them, and just, it's going to be like a feel-good day every day. Look at what they're doing, how amazing they are, and how they're destroying our enemy, the enemy of our world, who are attacking us, who are saying they will destroy us. That's a cause we can all get behind. Support Ukraine, love Ukraine, do everything Ukrainian, because this is survival at this point.
Yeah. There's Thomas Peterson. Is that there? Yeah. Thomas Peterson in the live chat. We need to get Zelensky a copy of the Epstein files. You're damn right, man.
And I honestly, you know, even though like Trump is doing everything to distract from Epstein files, but Epstein files is also a distraction, you know, because some people say maybe he's not in the Epstein files, but he knows the people that are in an Epstein files, and being the guy who is like making deals, you know, he's so good at making deals. Who is the best person to make a deal with? A criminal that's scared to go to jail, right? So if you are really good about making a deal, but you have no morals, no moral compass, no conscience, that's the worst thing that can happen, a person like that in power. I'd rather you being really bad at deals, since you're being a moral bankrupt person.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. Trump is in a very bad position, because on one side, he's kind of hiding the Epstein file debacle with this summit. And the summit, you have the Russians who definitely have compromise on him. So from both sides, he's getting closed in. And I'm saying definitely now, not allegedly, because 3 times he said that Alaska is Russia. 3 times. Russians told him to do that. Yes. I was like, only Russians would say like, you have to do this, and he did.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I didn't watch any of that.
This was twice in the he's like, I'm going to Russia. Everyone was like, you're going to Alaska.
Jeez.
And then when he was like leaving, he was like, oh, I'm going back to United States. Like,
yeah.
He's not to that point deranged. Like, he is deranged.
I had no idea that happened. I'm just learning that right now.
Yeah. I heard him say it. Like,
well, Russians do consider Alaska a Russian territory. They consider parts of California Russian territory. Have you seen that patch? The Russians are fighting in Ukraine with a patch, and there's like Alaska, and it says like, we will get ours back. You know, so they, you know, when they're fighting Ukrainians right now, Russians understand that they're fighting the West. Their job is to take control of Ukraine and destroy the West, destroy the Western way of life. It's not just words, it's coming from Russians. It's not something that's invented somewhere.
No, exactly.
To destroy democracy, destroy freedom. and everything that's basically good.
Yeah.
Because anything that Russians touch turns into death and destruction, and they don't know.
According to Russians, our way of life is weak, it's wrong, it's backwards. We are, we don't have a direction. It's kind of partially true, because they're showing themselves like, look, we influence their elections. We have their leader on our side. We're trying to destroy them, and they're speaking our talking points.
Yeah.
Like that's a confirmation that democracy is weak.
Yeah.
West is weak, and Russians they value strength. So right now they do consider their country image of strength. They do consider that they're on the right side of things. Russia is doing is correct, because it's the strength.
And yet they live in a toilet, basically.
Yeah.
With no plumbing, in a toilet with no plumbing. So an outhouse.
Exactly.
But that's not any kind of a negative for a Russian, because according to Russians and to Russia, the reason they live in a toilet and in the gutter is because of the evil West, and because they live in the toilet, it's only a confirmation that they need to continue fighting. They need to continue destroying the evil West. The more they see the toilet outside, the broken toilet, the more they get angry at us, and they're pretty immune from any kind of thing. Like if you tell them, oh, don't you want to live like with a good toilet, with like good salary, with they find that arrogant on our part. They don't think like us. They find us like our arrogance, and it makes them angry. Any kind of talk like that.
Wow.
No, I
Don't
think
disrespect Russian toilet.
Yeah, good show, Canty. How's it going? Welcome, buddy. How you doing?
Hello.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I think you were muted for a second there. The person that had your slot in the show the last time must have had a noisy mic, and I was muting them when they weren't talking or something. So yeah, everybody, Canty's here. All right, cool.
I think it's time to kind of start putting a question to the West. If we could live like Russians, doesn't sound so good.
Fucking chance.
Exactly. So we better start fighting for our freedom and for our life and democracy, because we will end up living like them. We will if we don't do anything.
You don't have to go back too far historically to be able to find areas of the U.S. that were that condition. Appalachia, for example, is a perfect case.
My great aunt in Maryland had an outhouse too, so
yeah.
I like plumbing, so I reject the Marxist way of life.
Yeah, the difference is a Russian is willing to accept that that's the condition he has to live with, whereas most Americans, while they can deal with the conditions that might be that bad, they aspire to improving the conditions they're living in.
Exactly.
To something that's better.
Yeah, I mean, we don't mind.
Capitalism, right? Built on capitalism. And that's why there's a phrase, freedom-loving Americans.
Yeah.
There is freedom in the DNA of Americans, literally. That's what they live by, used to, at least, the Constitution. And it worked this far. I just don't see Americans as a collective all of a sudden starting to live like Russians, which is, kind of similar to communism. And look what happened there. It was two contrasting kind of ways of life completely. And one thing that Americans are not is Russia in contrast.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's no way you can take like a Canadian or an American and put them into the Russian system and have them anywhere near happy. There's no way.
By the way, have you guys heard that story of this American citizen who got fed up with our evil Western way of life? Basically, listened too much of X or Twitter and Elon Musk, and decided that Russia is a great country that doesn't have all this evil stuff. And he moved his whole family to Russia. He got conscripted into Russian army and died 2 weeks later. And now his wife is squealing over there. Oh, they killed him. Well, he. It was kind of Russia. Russia is very dependable. You like Russian way. You get too close, they chew you out. They put you through the meat grinder, and you're gonna get killed. I thought that was overall a positive story, a good lesson learned.
Yeah.
The reason he chose to move his family was because he wanted to get them out of a country that was pursuing an LGBTQ agenda.
Yeah.
That's the exact quote.
It's a lot better for his daughter to be raped over there in Moscow than for them to be exposed over here to our evil LGBT agenda over here.
By the way, also Russia pushes both sides of the extremists onto the West, because they want us to stabilize. They want us fighting. As long as we're fighting, they're winning. And people that think that they're fighting this culture war, and I talk a lot about this, that against like wokeism, Russia is pushing that, and they're pushing the extremist right wing as well.
Oh yeah. Anything for divide and conquer purposes, right? It's all on the table for them. They don't care.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's the key to it. That's the key to it, is there's a natural thing in, Western cultures or whatever. There's the argument of Ford versus Chevy. There's the, support your local insert sports team here, blah, blah. And it's always, and so the Russian influence just has to ignite that even more and get more people more concerned about the fight itself than why you're fighting. Right?
Did you guys have a chance to talk about IRA, Internet Research Agency, the Olgino Russian trolls? Did we touch on that?
We have, but not for a little bit now.
I mean, that's the reality that we live in. Like every time we go online, our elections, our media, our influencers, people we speak to, everything is influenced by Russia now, and it's the things that we're doing right now, that the people who are speaking, like right at this moment, we're not influenced by that. But, the comments under this video, there's going to be some Russian trolls, it's everywhere right now.
Yeah.
Slavie, did you read them, the Olgino thing? Do you guys want Slavie to read this to us?
Well, let's do a couple of shout outs and then we'll switch right to that. That's a good idea.
Okay.
We have a lot of questions too.
Yeah. So here, first off, we got Tyler Dowdy in with a super chat. Support freedom and democracy and buy Ukrainian products. To hell with Trump tariffs. Hey, great shout indeed. I like it. Fred Bear comes in with a $10 super chat as well. For dancing hula girl to put on the dashboard. You know what? I got a gag for that. Where is it? Right here. Captain Kirk style hula dancer. And then we got super chat Matt in the chat there. Let's stop Putin and Trump from the war going on and help Zelensky end the war. Slava Ukraine, Heroam Slava. Great one, Matt. Love it very much. And then ATV and Ham in the chat threw a $10 direct donation into the hat. Slava Ukraine. Hey, thanks, Ham. Huge. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Any shout outs and whatnot on your side there, Slavie?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. So yes, you're going to read us something, and we'll try to squeeze in some questions and whatnot. And
I'm not sure. What am I reading?
oh, I don't know. Peter Pan.
Do you want me to read it really quick? I'm just going to read from Wikipedia. It's a very short article, but I mean, there's it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger's speech. It's got everything you need to know. You know?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't know what I'm reading.
Sorry, I just have to do a quick search over here. But basically, you know, it's Russian Yevgeny Prigozhin. He was Putin's cook. He was cooking food for Putin, and basically, the two kind of most important people in Putin's life are people who cook for him and who carry his pool briefcase. You know, stuff goes in, stuff goes out. So by being his cook, he became very powerful, very rich person indeed. And he started having his own, he started having his own army, CVK Wagner Group.
Right.
And on the other end, he realized the importance of influencing the information space. And that's what we're going to talk about. So he came up with this idea. He had a office building, like a high-rise, like maybe 10-story office building. He put 1,000 Russians in there, and they were around the clock. They were creating fake accounts and posting like everywhere, like in Twitter, in YouTube, in Facebook, buying ads. You know, all these accounts had like innocent-sounding names, like Michelle from Colorado or like Peter from New Jersey. And they would hire actually students who were in United States who kind of knew something about United States. And so these people could pose for, just within the short comment style of interaction, they could pose for, Americans. You know, of course, if you dig deeper, but, you know, who would dig deeper? You know, we see a comment online and you're thinking, oh my God, you know, Russia has won, Ukraine is fallen, you know, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So let me just read this really quick because it's more concise than I can explain right now. But basically, if you just search Olgino, Russian trolls or something, it comes up. And the way it comes up, it says Internet Research Agency. I'm not going to show you my screen because it's kind of pointless. So basically, the Internet Research Agency, it's called, also known as GlovSat, also known as Central Network, also known as Trolls from Olgino. Olgino is a St. Petersburg suburb, or Kremlin bots. They're also known. So that's a real thing. So it was a Russian company with which, when I say it was a Russian company, right now there's many more of them. So it's not a thing of the past. It's what we're dealing with just on a much larger scale right now.
Right.
So what it says, it was a Russian company which was engaged in online propaganda and influence operations on behalf of Russian business and political interests. It was founded by Yevgeny Prigozhin, the cook of Putin. He was also a leader of the Wagner Group, the fighters there fighting in Ukraine, in Africa, everywhere around the world, and based in St. Petersburg's Russia. The agency was first mentioned in 2015 because as soon as Russia started attacking Ukraine, that's when they decided it's a good idea to start influencing the information war space. There was an article in New York Times in 2015 explaining this, and it detailed its operation because one guy escaped and defected and kind of told everything that was happening there. And it gained further attention when Russian journalist Andrei Zakharov published his investigation into Prigozhin's troll factory. In January 2017, a report issued by the United States intelligence community describing the agency as troll farm, the likely financier of the so-called Internet Research Agency of professional trolls located in St. Petersburg, is a close ally of Vladimir Putin, with ties to Russian intelligence, commenting that they previously were devoted to supporting Russian actions in Ukraine and started to advocate for candidate Trump as early as December 2015. The agency employed fake accounts registered on major social network sites, discussion boards, online newspaper sites, video hosting services to promote the Kremlin's interests in domestic and foreign policy, including Ukraine, Middle East, as well as attempting to influence the 2016 United States presidential election. More than 1,000 employees reportedly worked in a single building of the organization in 2015. So I don't have any more information on this, but Russians understand how invaluable this is. If they had just one building in 2015, it's been 10 years. Russia will spare no expense to make sure that there's 100 buildings like that right now.
Oh yeah, they'd gladly spend on that instead of like feeding people. So,
Oh yeah.
Well, there's a YouTube troll out there that's operating out of Serbia that's paid by the Russians. My little channel comes onto my little channel, starts trolling my chat, and
bastard, we don't get the fuck. That's too bad.
I used to get a Serbian troll too. Maybe it's the same one. Yeah, I haven't seen the troll around for a little while. Maybe
he kind of disappeared after I did a little research and showed him his building on stream.
Nice.
Oh, that's doxing though. Be careful with that.
Yeah. Even if it's a troll, you can still get in trouble, but I applaud the effort. Well done.
I promise I won't release the location of the building you're in to the the Ukrainian drone forces.
Yeah. Next time, Canty, my advice would be to use an AI narration and just make a second channel that sounds like it has nothing to do with you. And you could just give the new creator a shout out so everybody could go and see it. And that way you're safe, right?
This was like 6 months ago. And this is the first time I said that was the building he was in. So
okay. Yeah.
Only a few people will actually recognize that. But anyways.
Yeah. And YouTube, if you're listening, we're talking about Mickey Mouse. So everybody already knows where it is. Okay.
We have a lot of good questions coming in.
Let's dive into a few.
Let's get them. Yes.
That's the exciting part.
This is a comment, but it's good. In a significant and recent development, Putin signed a decree on August 15th that could potentially allow foreign investors, including ExxonMobil.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but
big business just doesn't care, man. That sucks.
Yep. And I think we're going to see a lot more of things like this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Next up, we have a question from Theoretically. Good name. What would be conditions under which Ukraine could accept a deal with Russia? Are there any offered concessions like making Ukraine neutral?
Okay, I'll go on the record here. The only land swap I support is if Ukraine has to give land to Russia, the U.S. has to give Ukraine Alaska.
No, I think we can do a more direct thing. Just Trump gives Alaska to Russia for Russia pulling out from Ukraine. That sounds ridiculous, I know. That's
what we support that if I can get my Ukrainian residency card.
See, the thing is with making deals with Russia, it never holds up. It's not a deal like they never keep their word. So it truly wouldn't be an end to war. It wouldn't stop the killing, because sooner or later, right away, they would keep going in whichever deal is made, and whatever they sign, whatever they promise,
It's all
they
budgets.
will always come back and keep killing and invade. The
Yeah.
only way to completely stop Russia is to make sure it's crushed economically and militarily.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the only way.
I think everybody knows the Budapest Memorandum from 1994.
Mhm.
What a lot of people don't realize is in 2008, the US, UK, and Russia reaffirmed the Budapest Memorandum. Let's see, who was the Russian president in 2008?
Could
Who was
it
the Russian
be?
president that invaded in 2014?
Could it be?
Could it
Satan?
be?
So, yeah, rather than just saying they don't keep their word, I like to give examples, because that's case in point. Putin in 2008 reaffirmed that he will respect Ukraine's 1991 borders. 6 years later, Donbass, Crimea, and where we are now.
I think Russia has a slogan, something like Russia has no borders, basically.
Well,
That tells you everything.
Putin said that. And I would also like to say, like, I really like this question because it's very manipulative. It serves Russian interests. It's completely false on its whole substance of the question. There is no deal. Russia doesn't have any deal. All these deals are proposed by Russian sympathizers. You know, when they say, "Oh, Ukraine, wouldn't you like cede some land just to stop the war?" Russia did not offer Ukraine to stop the war to cede land. Russia is never going to stop. Show me where Putin says, you give up all this land and we're going to stop the war. Never it says. Like right now when they say, oh, Ukraine pulls out all the armies and we get to take this, they say after that we'll start talking about possible peace, which means nothing.
Yeah.
You know? So this is a manipulative question that serves to show that Ukraine is not willing to negotiate, that Ukraine doesn't want peace as hard as maybe Russia. It's a BS question. I like that somebody asked that question because we get to dive into this, but I hate that question because it's a Russian serving question to show, and there's no substance to it. Russia doesn't have a deal.
Trump himself even knows it. I have the clip right here.
I think that's not a very smart question.
See?
But we do have breaking news coming in. And I completely agree with you, Johnny, on all that. But Putin offers Trump, not Ukraine, Trump, frozen battle lines, written promise not to invade again if Kiev surrenders Donbass. It's bullshit. We know that, but...
God damn.
Is that an actual proposal?
I haven't had the time to go through it because it's literally breaking right now. It just says Putin offers Trump frozen battle lines, written promise not to invade. I think it's not written because it's promises to
Trump
be written.
is not a president of Ukraine.
Exactly.
You know? How can you promise the interstellar galactic of Mars something in Ukraine?
I'll tell you.
Can stop.
I'll tell you this, guys. 4 days ago, Zelensky already said, the BBC had reported it. Zelensky said 4 days ago that there's no way in hell Kyiv will acquiesce to anything that has to do with handing over the Donbass region. As such, that's why that is in this, because this is not meant to solve anything.
I think there's another layer to this because in Donbass, that's where Ukraine has the heaviest fortified area. I think Commander Macmillan can explain it much better than I. And if Ukraine lets that go, Russia sweeps in, and it's going to be a lot easier for Russia if they get that to go on, basically, with the war.
Commander?
So,
no, that's accurate. It's the Ukrainians have a line of fortified cities that are not currently on the front line. There's just like the fallback line if things go to shit at the front. And the Russian demands are basically, okay, give us everything, including these fortified lines, and we'll talk peace.
Right.
The idea being once you get those lines given over, then there's nothing to stop them from driving the rest of the way through.
Right. They just take a break while this so-called peace thing, get themselves all geared up and ready and then go again, right?
Yeah. And it's not so much to me that, whether or not some area of Ukraine might have to be surrendered. The issue is that at no point have the Russians ever suggested concessions on their part. And for you to have a legitimate negotiation to try to arrive at some sort of armistice, both sides need to be willing to concede something. And the Russians, from the very start, have never shown the slightest inclination to concede anything. Their concession is, you give us everything we want, and then we'll stop fighting.
Yeah. They've shown that they are not willing to give, but they're certainly willing to take.
Absolutely.
This is yet another trap laid out by Putin to help Trump and whoever else to blame Ukraine for not taking this deal and for not. So this is
attempt to shift the burden of blame for the war onto Ukraine.
Right. Classic, we'll offer this bullshit deal. Ukraine is not going to say no. And it gives us now a reason to take the shift onto Ukraine for being hard to deal with, not taking the deal, and whole narrative switch.
Couple of shout outs.
And there's some
go ahead.
There's some historical basis to the Russians pursuing this argument, because it's of trying to negotiate without bringing the Ukrainians into the equation, because it's the same thing that the British and French did in 1938 with regards to Czechoslovakia. It's, we're going to give up all the border regions, which happen to be the mountains that have been fortified. We're going to give those to the Germans so that we won't have another world war. And, less than a year later, you got your Second World War.
Exactly.
Can I address something else as well? I just, when they say peace, I don't like how the word peace is being used. When Russians say after Ukraine lets them occupy this land, then they can start talking peace. Because
piece of this, piece of that, piece of this.
Yes, exactly.
Because military occupation, that's not peace. That's just the end of hot phase of the war. So they're basically like using like a carrot of ending the hot phase of the war, and they're calling what's coming next peace, but that's not peace, because military operation is still just a colder phase of war, because as soon as Russians sweep in, they're going to start repressions, they're going to start tortures, they're going to start the raping. That's like a Russian thing, that's not even worth being discussed. You're going to have those people suffer immeasurably, under Russian occupation. And the only hope for those people is for Ukraine to come back and liberate them, take them back. So that's not any kind of peace.
It's also worth remembering that in 2014, when all the trouble started in Donetsk and Luhansk, the Russians studiously maintained that they had not invaded. That was a popular uprising by Slavic elements within those disputed regions.
Yeah.
And it'll be the same crap they use if you say, okay, we're going to have a peace. And then, oh my goodness, look at these other oblasts that are having popular uprisings in favor of Russia.
Yeah.
We're not invading, even though none of the guys who are there actually have any connection to the region.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's definitely in the playbook, right? You know, I mean, they
So
pulled that at the beginning of this. You know,
I just looked more into this, and this gets actually even worse. And this is what Putin, the offer that Putin brought to the summit, and it's an outlined peace plan that would have involved Ukraine ceding unoccupied territory in exchange for Moscow's written promise not to invade again. Trump appeared to have endorsed this plan as the fastest way to a peace deal. Okay.
Is he short on toilet paper or something?
can
In
we? We gotta.
Toilet
Well,
paper.
hold on. Well, it gets crazy. In exchange for Ukraine's withdrawal, Putin would offer a written promise not to attack Ukraine or a European country again. And Putin also asked that Russian again be named an official language in Ukraine.
I'm sorry, but Kitty Cat, what do you think about this?
Fuck is wrong with you?
Jesus, I thought I wasn't gonna swear today. I was trying to make a good impression on you guys. But what the fuck
That's
is
right.
that? That is bad shit crazy. Like that, this is how crazy Russia is. That's actually how crazy they are. And they are ecstatic. They are
say
they're
about
laughing.
bats and their poop.
They're rolling on the floor laughing at our weakness, at how they play us. They are just, they're joyous right now. It's a good time to be Russian right now. Today is a good day for them.
Yeah.
You know, they
Johnny, I would say don't use us because they're making fun of America, not Ukraine.
Americans.
So I just wanted to point that out.
But they're very disrespectful to Ukrainians in the process.
True.
Which is not a good thing in my book as well.
Yeah.
Ukraine is the pawn here. It's the between Russia and United States, but Ukraine is the pawn on the to move.
A couple of shout outs I want to get in. These are good shout outs too. So first, Niles G. Knudsen in the chat there. Big round of applause for you. Sends in 20 Shills gifted memberships. Bounce, little Mario, bounce. Huge shout, Niles. Thank you so much. We love some gifted memberships. And remember, if you're the last one to get a gifted membership, you get today's bar tab. Give me a shout and I'll make sure to get it out to you right away. And then Stephen Walsh came in with $130 direct donation. And it says, hot dogs for Big O. Love y'all. Hope Commander's new bionic knees are doing well. It was horse shit to see little mushrooms in Alaska. Down with the enemy and glory to heroes. Huge shout, Stephen. Here, let me hit that applause again. Huge shout to Mr. Walsh. Awesome. And I agree. It was horse shit to see that son of a bitch. And oh, yeah, man. Totally agreed. Totally agreed. I want to do the old test here. You know, we got our honesty test. And I want to do an honesty test on the Trump administration for the purity of thought in trying to do this summit to actually make something happen. Let's try this out here.
Totally unexpected.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You know, but see, we got special Shills technology, so we know our lie detector is correct. So let's get back.
I do have a shout out as well from You Know They Exist. Super chat saying happy birthday salute to Papachko. It was my dad's birthday 2 weeks ago, and I put a happy birthday to him in one of my videos. So thank you so much. I'll let him know.
That's really cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
By the way, guys, check out my latest videos. They've been coming out every Monday at premiering at 11:30. Because I'm only getting like 100 views per video. I've never been that low. Even when I posted my very first YouTube video, was
One of
much
them is
higher
from
than
me.
that. So something is definitely wrong, and I need you to guys go and watch my videos, and I really need your support right now, because right now is when we need to be the loudest.
Yeah.
So help me out. Your social currency will help a lot. And ring the bell. Ring the bell. Maybe you guys are not seeing the videos because now I'm being consistent.
Yeah.
You guys are watching the videos. And when I was inconsistent, you guys were like on it. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but
YouTube's little algorithm is being a real finicky so-and-so these days, and I'm at a loss for what it's doing. But yeah, and while you're over there watching her video, hit the share button and give a shout out on social media, because that's one of the biggest things you can do to help the creators that you watch is the share button. When you click when somebody on like Facebook clicks a link that has the share little BS in the link, that's you pulling an eye from Facebook onto YouTube. And that's the biggest thing you can do to show that the creators you like are something that should be promoted, is use that fucking share button.
absolutely. And comment too, because as long as you comment and you spend time on commenting and on the post, that's really great as well. And
Yeah.
I answer every comment. I take time to answer all of your comments. And it's not just thank you so much. I answer with paragraphs. Even if you put Slava Ukraini, I'll be like, well, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. But
Yeah, I have to admit, she's much better at doing that than I am. But I get help, so we're not usually too bad. So
And
Yeah.
I'm getting
Do you
a
have any
super chat
questions?
coming in from Stephen Walsh. Thank you so much with a super chat. Slavie, keep it up and spread the loudest. Help me out. Help me be loud, basically. Help
Awesome.
Ukraine.
Way to go, Steve. Good one. Good show. Awesome.
Do we have
Where
any
were we?
questions
Yeah.
from the people who are watching? Are there any good questions that we could answer as a panel?
We have a lot of questions, by the way.
Yeah, our moderators gather them as we go, and then we have a room full of them, and Slavie's in that room pulling them out right now.
Yes, we have a lot good ones. So should we get to them?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a question for the panel. If this dumbit, I don't know who that is, was a nothing burger, why will Zelensky fly to the US on Monday? I'm afraid this will get us to a second Oval Office debacle.
I could see that happening, but I don't think Mr. Z has a choice. You got to take any opportunity you can to do a little politicking and see what you can pull out for the home team, right?
I think it's a combination. One, it allows him to present his side of an argument to Trump, and we know that Trump is notoriously vulnerable to being swayed by whoever is in the room with him last. So following up a Putin visit with the Zelensky visit means Zelensky actually has a better chance at trying to get his message inserted into the empty little container at the top of his head.
Yeah, that jar of mustard that's just never full.
Right. And secondly, by him showing up, it's on the stage of world opinion, showing Zelensky is willing to talk about how we can bring this conflict to an end. He doesn't have to necessarily make any concessions, as long as he's seen talking to Trump after Trump had a meeting with Putin where they allegedly talked about trying to end the war. It shows that Zelensky's being willing to talk about trying to end the war. So it puts Zelensky and Ukraine in a favorable light. That's why I think this visit is important.
Yeah.
Or the upcoming visit is important.
Absolutely. I totally think he should grab the Europeans like Merz, Macron, grab Meloni on the way. What's up? We show up like a gang to the White House.
Well, I think that should happen beforehand. Merz, Macron, they need to talk to Trump beforehand, start switching his mindset over. So when Trump goes up there, he's not facing a wall. It's been softened up a little bit.
I think they've been talking. They've been talking to him. That's the crazy part. And there's kind of this floppy thing happening that, he'll meet with Putin or talk with Putin, then he'll be on Putin's side. Then the Europeans will soften him up, loop him up, call him daddy if you're Mark Rutte. Then he softens up and he's being more, open to a Ukrainian kind of victory, I guess.
Who's the daddy?
But it's this, circle that we're just stuck in forever with fucking Trump.
Yeah.
See, what Zelensky really needs to do is find a beautiful girl and appoint her as like a minister or a translator, and that will distract Trump completely. And he could get any point across he wants at that point.
No older than 16 years. Just adding that little bit.
Yeah.
By the way, Melania, she did something interesting. She wrote a letter to Putin, which Trump hand delivered to Putin about Ukraine's stolen children.
Oh.
So, yes. So good for her. I see you. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to distance yourself because you see your husband as, being part of this war now. So I would distance myself too. Start, doing some things here and there to be on the right side.
Yeah, the distance should be like the same distance she keeps away from his pecker. Like, a long, big distance, right?
Can I tell you what the letter says?
What was that, Johnny?
Can I tell you what the letter says from Melania? It says, Dear Mr. Pedophile, please stop abducting Ukrainian children. Did we discuss that Putin is a known pedophile?
Yeah. I don't want to get into, too much because that's one of those areas of conversation where if we even use that word too much, we could. But I like to be honest about things around here. I mean, we don't censor. So,
he's adhering to a very important tradition. Laventia Beria was one. So
yeah. Let's refer to them as pedal boys.
Yeah.
Right.
Bicycle riders.
Yeah.
A lot of like right wing, like MAGA that, praise Putin for his family values, and Russia as a whole don't know that, obviously. And it's funny because if you ever meet a Russian supporter, they can be one of three things. They could be a complete psychopath, most likely psychopath, genocidal psychopath, pedophile, extremely ignorant, or three, both of them. That's all what they can be. Those are the only people, even psychologically, that can support Russia. So, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, even talking with the Russians that have been here in the States for 20, 30 years, I say Kyiv as Kyiv instead of Kiev, and they get mad and yell at me for changing the name.
Yeah.
And it just shows you the mentality that is ingrained.
I don't know. The Russians that are in the United States that I've come by, they keep their head down and good. If they keep it up, I'll... Well, most of them keep their like,
Slavie, it's just you, it's their instinct of self-preservation kicks in. They don't want to be on your bedside.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times, my friends will be like, they'll check like who it is, because a lot of times they don't really understand if it's Russian, Ukrainian. They'll just be like Slava Ukraini, and then if they say it back, great. If they don't, we know. All the time they say back.
Yeah.
So they better.
That's like trying to get Germans to say squirrel. right? You know, you can tell when they're old joke.
Do we have any more interesting questions from for the panel there?
I do. Thank you, Johnny. I do. There's a lot of questions for the panel.
Who's hosting this show anyway? What the hell? No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
I'm kidding.
So
There's
sorry.
a question from Sarah. Relationship between Russia and Azerbaijan has been getting worse. In what direction do you believe this situation will develop? It has been getting a lot worse. Azerbaijan now is full out like helping Ukraine, and they're but they in the end they want to be more close to United States, and I think the president was just recently in a meeting with Trump, I think last week. Yeah, Azerbaijan is aligning themselves with United States and Israel. They're a superpower military now. They've been building this up for a while now, and they know where they're located is very strategic to the West because they're right next to Iran, and they know they're an asset to the United States. Let's just put it that way.
Well, there's also access to the Caspian Sea. It's also an access point into Russia through the mountains towards Chechnya. So very strategic country.
Yeah.
And that kind of growing distance between many of the Caucasus Mountain area states and Russia is growing. And what that is they're seeing Russia, its strength and power weakening because of the ongoing war being dragged out. And they view that as an opportunity to start getting out from under Russia's thumb.
Mm.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Next question. Oh, I guess it's for me. Any reactions within Ukrainian diaspora to Trump not renewing the refugee protection for 120 Ukrainians? I didn't know that it wasn't renewed. Trump said the Ukrainians are free to stay until the war is over, and I've reported on this. So if there's I don't know, Johnny, is there something you know that I don't about this?
The last that I heard is that he said Ukrainians can stay till the war is over.
Yeah, that's the same. And now they're relieved because no one knows when the war is going to
was the right thing to say. He said the right thing. So on that point, that was good.
So I don't know where this is coming. Trump not renewing the refugee protection. I'm sorry, I don't know.
It's a waffle because what he's trying to do is play both sides. He's trying to say the Ukrainian refugees can stay in the U.S. as long as the war is ongoing, but he's not saying they can stay past that point.
Yeah.
And that's a concession to his own base who want anybody who, isn't a 19th generation American to be deported.
Quick little announcement here. Canty on the channel with us. He is 5 subscribers away from being able to apply for that monetization. So here is the link in the live chat right now. Get your punk asses over and sub right now because he can get his application in. Get it done.
And I want to get that done before I go to Ukraine. And
yeah.
That's 16 days away.
That'd be awesome. We could probably have it we could probably, we should have it so that you can apply as soon as in an hour, right? How hard can it be to get 5 subs over there? So get it done, people. Come on now. Come on now. How do you do all that rednecky talk? I'm not really sure. We're getting really short on time. So a couple of shout outs I'm going to squeeze in here. We got Stephen Walsh on that chart again with a $40 direct donation. Huge shouts today, Stephen Walsh. And he says, down with the enemy and glory to the heroes. Love it. Awesome. Huge thanks, Stephen Walsh. Huge thanks. And We've also got Carl Jacobson in the chat as well with a $22 direct donation. Car for Ukraine, shout out. Cede Texas to Russia, but keep U.S. military bases. Just an idea, he says. Well, it might make the upcoming election easier. So, oh, it's funny. And we come over here. We got You Know They Exist with a super chat. Slavie is genius, proven every day on her channel. Great shout out. You Know They Exist. Love it. Very true as well. And then Carl Jacobson came in with a member message as well. And it's the sunflowers and the Ukrainian flag. And he even got Buckchuck the raccoon in. Huge, huge. Love it, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll do thanks to the team in our wrap-ups here, which we should start right now. Otherwise, myself and Commander and maybe others can actually get in trouble today. So
absolutely. Canty, do you have any final thoughts to leave our viewers with?
Well, I just want to say thanks for letting me on the show, and come check me out when I deliver half a suitcase full of this stuff to Ukraine.
Awesome. Yes, you're leaving what, 16 days?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get some subs over for Canty here. We'll get the link in the chat again.
Absolutely. Johnny, do you have any final thoughts? Promote your channel. What do you do on your channel? Please tell us. I know what you do, but tell the audience to make sure they check out your channel. It's
Who
very
is your
good, guys.
daddy and what does he do?
Yeah.
My daddy used to be a doctor, but he's retired now. And on my channel, I go to the wild streets of LA, Los Angeles, and I talk to people about current issues about Ukraine. I think it's very interesting. Ukraine is very interesting. What's happening is very interesting. We have a very ruthless enemy that we're fighting, and winning is what we have to do. So that's why we do what we do. And thank you for inviting me. I had a good time.
Excellent. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on. And yeah, guys, please subscribe to Johnny's channel. What is it called? Tell us. And
it's called Young Ukrainians. Young Ukrainians. That's the handle. But I hopefully, if you search Young Ukrainians, like Los Angeles or California or Beverly Hills or something like that, all the locations where we go, it should come up. Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you do at Young Ukrainians, you'll get it instantly.
Exactly.
All right.
Commander McMillan, any final thoughts?
Two things. One, we didn't discuss the situation at the front, but I was optimistic when I saw that International Institute for Study of Warfare listed for the first time in a long time more Ukrainian advances than Russian advances along the line. So that's a good thing. Secondly, as I always do when I wrap up here, please keep in contact with your elected officials. Tell them that Ukraine is important to you and you want the U.S. to continue to support Ukraine.
Absolutely, especially right now where the people need to put pressure onto our leadership to support Ukraine right now. So please give your elected officials a call or an email or a dove, whatever you can.
Yeah.
I'd like to shout out Ohms for a super chat. Thank you so much. Saying, I try to share on Blue Sky and Threads. I don't have a big following, but I do see people reacting. Thank you so much. Every action counts. Threads is great. It's popping. Blue Sky is dead, unfortunately, but Threads is popping. It's great content. I really enjoy my time on Threads. It's not as toxic as X, not at all, but it does have the information and everything for it to be very addictive. So be careful. So thank you so much, Ohms, for sharing. I like to just get into my conclusion. The Alaska summit proved one thing: Putin can walk onto American soil, smirk for the cameras, mock the United States, and with Soviet symbols too, and leave without conceding a single inch. No ceasefire, no sanctions, no justice.
Yep.
Only optics, only humiliation. Trump called it productive. Productive for whom? For Russia, certainly. For America, it was theater. It was embarrassment without any teeth.
Yeah.
For Ukraine, it was another reminder that our survival is too often bargained in rooms we're not even invited to. But this isn't just Ukraine's fight. If you watched a dictator parade in Alaska and felt indifferent or thought it doesn't touch you, then you're already behind. Because what Putin wants is not just Kyiv, it's the collapse of the system that protects your freedom, your vote, your voice. That's why your support matters. Call your elected officials and demand they stand with Ukraine. Donate to the causes that put drones in the sky or cars in the front, food in the hands of displaced families. Support Ukrainian channels. Fight Russian lies online, because social media is a battlefield these days. And whether you know it or not, you are part of the fight. So huge thank you to the panel today. Thank you for battling disinformation with your voices. To our crew, to our moderators on both channels, thank you so much. You guys are rock stars as always. And to you, the viewers, thank you for standing with us for every comment, every share, every donation. If you're new here, please don't forget to hit subscribe and welcome. Ring the bell so you don't miss our next show. That really helps, and it matters more than you think. So I'll leave you with this. If America can roll out a red carpet for a war criminal, what kind of world will be rolled out for your children if you choose silence?
Yeah.
Slava Ukraine.
Slavie Ukraine.
Prime
We
Slava.
got a on the channel here. We got Mexi Girl on the Shills account. Shayna Caldwell, Liam Wakefield, Jose C, David Worley, and Super Chat Matt. Huge thanks everybody, because couldn't do this without you, as everybody just saw. We got to get the hell out of here, or everybody gets in trouble. Slavia Ukraine. See y'all soon, everybody. Take care out there.
Prime Slava.
Good one, Slava.
It's over. Go home. Go.